Tom, thanks for sitting down with me today. Appreciate it.
No problem. Great.
Good to see you here in Montreal. Lots of good meetings.
Very good meetings.
Long week.
Very long week.
Very long week, absolutely. Tom, you've worn a lot of different hats in your career already, in your young career. Can I still call it that?
I got a little bit of gray coming.
We'll call it a career.
Sure.
Which hat was the most memorable?
I've been very fortunate to work for a lot of great companies, but it has to be Pitura Seeds. It's having work with family, having ownership in the business, and being able to put on that president's hat to drive the business forward. I think that's been key for me.
That's awesome. And what makes that so memorable? And I mean, you touched on a couple of key things there: working for a great company, running a great company, and working with family. So what in there? What's the juice that makes it so memorable?
You know, I think working with family, but also having ownership in what you're doing, it comes to passion. You have to have passion to drive a business, and I think family businesses generally have passion. That's where I find it comes in. That gives me my drive moving things forward. And when you have that kind of ownership and that passion in what you're doing, that's where success comes from, I think.
Absolutely. And then how does leadership fit into that? I know you're in a leadership role with Pitura. How does driving from that leadership spot, how does that impact on that passion play? You know,
I think we have a lot of leadership in our team, all the way from my father-in-law and his father from before that. So leadership comes with the role, and I think it's important, and it also helps having a great team below you. So I'm going to say we have an amazing team at Pitura's, and that's what really moves our business forward.
Awesome. And that leadership has led you to breaking ground on a brand new facility, going to be state of the art. It's
very
going to be
excited.
Awesome. Yeah,
very
it's
excited.
Going to be awesome. I'm curious, this is a two-sided question. What makes you nervous about diving into this brand new state of the art facility, and what gets you real excited?
Yeah. Anytime you're putting in big capital, you got to make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. And yes, there's some nervous there. I think the big thing is making sure we're lining up with our short-term goals for the business, and then ultimately our long-term goals too. I don't want future generations to be looking back at this and saying, "Tom, what did you do?" Hopefully we're putting enough forethought into what we're doing that it's going to be success. So that's the trepidatious side. On the positive, the seed industry is changing. A lot is changing, and that's exciting. And it's only once in a lifetime, I think, you'll ever get to build something to this level. So what we're building, I'm hoping we're going to be able to run a lot in the future with all these changes that are happening in the seed industry. So,
why is it necessary right now to be making that big capital investment? And I'm going to assume a big investment of time in preparation and in planning and laying out the key ingredients. Why is that critical for right now?
You know, I think it's one of the steps, or one of the cogs in the wheel. Any business, you're going to be focusing on the parts that need the attention at the time. This is a crucial portion for us right now in our step, as finding the extra capacity and the quality to move things forward, and it's just key to our business. So I think focus on what your business needs, and this is what our business needs right now.
Right. Running a business is running a business, but one of the things that I seem to have lots of conversations about is running a family business. You're running a family business. I'm curious, do you have any tips for those people? And let's be clear, most of the people that are going to look at this are involved in either running or part of a family business. Any thoughts?
Sure. I think where I go to first is business coach. I can't recommend enough using a business coach. We used one when I decided to come back and join the organization along with my brother-in-law Connor, and I think it's something that you continue to use. Sometimes conversations are hard, and especially working with family, and it's something that's just not that easy. So having someone that's experienced and working with that can help move that forward. So business coach is where I'd start.
That's great advice. Great advice, because it's funny because no one has a problem hiring a personal trainer when they want to get physically fit. They have no problem going to see experts in other areas, but for some reason when it comes to running our business, we tend to think we should know how to do it. And reinventing the wheel is an expensive process.
It is, yeah, for sure. The other thing I'd say, communication. Life's busy, especially working with family. It's easy to focus on work or life, but maybe not both. And just focusing, say, maybe we're just talking all work or we're talking all life, but make sure you have those conversations, because communication, I think, is key as well.
Do you have structured time to do that?
100%.
Yeah. So like actual meeting time that gets set up to say this, we're functionally talking about the business.
We do. Yeah, for sure.
I think that's critical, isn't it?
100%. Well, everyone knows it. Communication. You got to talk about what's going on in your business. So
absolutely, and I think lots of family businesses feel that, well, you know, we have coffee together in the morning or we have dinner on Sunday, that is going to be the time where those topics can come out, and it doesn't work that way.
It's true. And I think the last thing is, remember, you're working with family, and it's fun. I don't think people think enough about how fortunate we are to work with family. I've worked with family, without family, and it's very, very great working with it. I wouldn't have it any other way. So I'm very fortunate to work with my brother-in-law and my in-laws.
So Pitura Seeds started back in the 1950s.
Yeah.
Carl and Clara.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously a wildly successful business, to say the least. Is there a story or an idea or a thought that comes to mind when I say something that maybe most people don't know, or a fascinating part about the organization?
Well, I'll talk about where it started. Carl. So Carl Pitura is Calvin's father. He is 93 years old, and he is still invested in the industry. So he is one of the elite growers that has had over 65 years of seed production. And with our new plant, he even stopped by just last week to come check in and see how things are going, and he's still 100% with us. So I can say he's a beacon, and he's a great example of what the seed industry can be, and hopefully one day I'll be in that same position.
Awesome. Tom, we're here in Montreal talking about change. Yeah. We're talking about evolution. We're talking about seed synergy. What would be kind of one of your key takeaways that you would take away from this meeting that you think is important for seed growers, is important for the seed trade, is important for the seed industry?
Change is scary, but it's a necessity. And I think it's something we need to focus on moving forward. Change is scary, but if it's done right, I think we can all be very successful.
Awesome. I think that this concept of change management is a really critical one, because nobody loves change. Sure. I think everyone would say that they don't love it. But do you have any thoughts on, as we are walking through this change, and as we are hopefully walking through it hand in hand, what kind of things do we need to be thinking about to manage that change, to manage our expectations, to manage where the process is going to go?
Well, I go back to what I was talking about before, communication. I think it's crucial that we're communicating across our memberships, our organizations, make sure everyone's on board. And with that communication, hopefully we'll have everyone invested and understand where we're going with this. So that's where I'd go.
Awesome. Well said. Well said, Tom. Always a pleasure to chat. Thanks for sitting down.
Right on. Thank you.